Welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how you can perform a Fligner-Policello test with Python, not using any libraries. This video will focus on how to obtain the output, not so much on if you should be using this test, and all the exact details on how to interpret the output. I'm using Jupyter Lab with a Python kernel of version 3.12. This Jupyter notebook will be available on my website in case you want to follow along or have another look at it. The example that I'll be using is coming from a data file, so I'll be using pandas to simply actually load that in. I actually already did that. It's the student statistics files. It looks like this. I only need two fields, a nominal field with two categories, so binary, and an ordinal field. As ordinal, I'll be using mixed number of activities, and as you can see, those were actually text, ranging from far too little to far too much. So I've coded them in a dictionary. Then as the nominal field, I'll be using gender, and only male and female were selected by the students. In a separate video, I'll go over how you can use my own library that simply has a function that immediately gives the results. But in this video, I'll do it the hard way without any other libraries. Um, the first thing I will be doing is actually replace the value, so I can use the map function from pandas with my coding, and that way now instead of having that text, it's simply numbered 1 to 5. I'm also separating the scores for the male and the female students, and that should give me the results for those. So as you can see, I can then actually use that. This will simply give me booleans if it was a male or female, and then I can actually just use those and then drop any missing values as well to get the scores. And just to make sure it's now a list, and then I won't be using any more libraries until I need the p-value. But I'll be using these lists as my input. The first thing I need to do is determine the placement values, and basically this is saying how many scores in the other category are below or are above the score that I'm checking in the first category. So I can simply loop over each of them, and every time it's greater than, it's going to add them to the list. It's also going to actually add half in case they're equal. That's a slight adjustment from another author, which makes it slightly more fair in case of ties. The same for the other way around for the other category, and then comparing it to the list ones. This is list 2 comparing to list 1 scores. We need the sum of each of these, so we can simply sum them up. And we also will be needing the average for each of these, the mean, the arithmetic mean. Then we actually don't need the variance. We can simply use the sum of square deviations, which has this scary looking formula. This big E is just a summation sign. It's the uppercase sigma of the Greek alphabet. We take each score and remove the average from that. So we can simply do that with list comprehension, and then of course do that big sum. The same for the other category, so same code there, just for the other category. Then we can fill out the formula for the test statistic, and we actually have everything we need. So it's just a matter of filling out that formula. It's a square root, so we can just raise it to the power of a half, and we get a z value of 4.29 rounded. We can determine that p-value in different ways. If you really don't want to use any internal libraries either, I have a separate video on how you can calculate normal distributions without libraries, but if you're using Python, you probably are using this, or actually SciPy's version of this. In this case, it's 1.80, but we need to, this e minus 0.05 represents that we need to divide this by 10 to the power of 5, so it's extremely small, below 0.05, which is the usual threshold. So these two categories seem to have a slightly different opinion when it comes to the mixed number of activities, a significant one. Alright, and that's it. I hope this video was helpful, and thank you for watching.